Hello, this is the latest, podcast of sorts of the EMG podcast. Just me and myself, Greg, today. And as we are now 13 games into season 17 of Elite Managers Game World, and we haven't done a podcast since April, I thought it'd be good to give a season update for the halfway point of Main World and 24 games into Division 4. So, obviously, we are now in season 17 of EMG. We'll be coming up to 5 years of the game world in October. And obviously, a lot has happened this season. So, I'm going to start off first with Division 4. So, in Division 4, we're 23 games, not 24, into the season. We've got 7 games left to play. Currently, there's a 3-way title fight. Really, two teams who are very close within 2 points of each other, and then there's a third team who are 7 back with 7 to go from first place. And then fourth place team is 12 back, who fourth and fifth are both 12 points behind first. So it's going to take a lot of work for those teams to get back there. So the 3 teams who are in the title race are Sparta Prague, managed by AE, Rangers managed by Mohamed Bilal, and Dinamo Zagreb by Tenosh. Sparta Prague are on 51 points, Rangers are on 49, Zagreb are on 44, and then going from 4th down to 16th. Celtic, who I sometimes forget who manages in Division 4, who are managed by Snake Eyes, on 39 points. Salzburg, who are managed by... when I wait for it to load... Salzburg, who are on 39 points in 5th, are managed by Tom Rose. And then we go down further, we have Cardiff are in 6th on 36 points. Kiran's Crvena Zvezda, or for non-Slavic speakers, Red Star Belgrade, are in 7th. Babby's Young Boys are in 8th. Gothenburg managed by... I forget who manages Gothenburg. Barath, I think. Yeah, Barath are in 9th. When it loads again. Barath's in 9th, Gothenburg on 32. Olympiakos, managed by Gertin, are in 10th on 30 points. Cam's Camels, Galatasaray are in 11th on 28 points. Shakhtar Donetsk, managed by DMAC, David McMillan, are in 12th on 27 points. Jonesy's Zenit, who are having a very disappointing season, previously being contended for the title, they're down in 13th on 25 points. And then Swansea are in 14th. Swansea are now managed by Zabahello, one of the new managers. They're on 23 points and 14th. Club Brugge, another new manager, Tim Olads. They're down in 15th on 16 points. And then in last place, the fool, as JJ calls him, our resident Nigerian nurse, Mr. Stanley Laramo, also known as Sir Fizz. A whopping 7 points. 1 win, 4 draws, 18 losses, 11 goals scored, 66 goals against. In his words, he would describe that as pure rubbish, and I would agree with him. He has not won a game since... He's won 1 game this season on the 8th of May against Gothenburg. Has not won since then. He recently got a draw against Celtic on the 10th of July, and prior to that, he had not even got a point since the 11th of May. He'd lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 games in all competitions in a row. He's not won since... obviously, he's 22 games without a win. Honestly, in his words, look at this pure rubbish. Pure rubbish. Up your game, honestly. Pathetic from Fizz. But yeah, so interestingly, obviously, with all 4 game worlds, I've asked the group who they think will win the title, and I've done it within 10 points of first. Only because I know realistically some of them are not going to win the title. However, obviously famously when Neri was first. Bojan was 13 points behind Ren, and he managed to beat Neri because Neri's a ball job. So there was the three options with Sparta, Rangers, and Zagreb. 8 people think Mohamed Bilal's Rangers, who are 2 points behind AE, will win the title. They are Alan Austin, Baraf, Nasvan, Greg Robertson, Pani Trifonov, Amazing, Bilal, obviously, and Jabril. And then 6 people have voted for Sparta Prague AE. That's myself, Zaha Bello, James Young, Bojan, Snake Eyes, and Gertin. And sorry, Tenosh, but you've got 0 votes from your fellow managers. And that rounds up Division 4. Interestingly, for Division 4 managers, obviously we got the EMG trophy starting in the next couple of days. Good opportunity for you guys to face Division 2 and Division 3 clubs. And the winner gets a spot in the Cup Winners' Cup. And also, as well, this month is important because obviously this will be the month of the side which one of you guys, a couple of you guys, will be entering the Challenge Cup and Cup Winners' Cup at the end of August. Now, on to the next league. We're going to go up to Division 1, so the main from Mainworld, so the most important and probably most the one that gets the most activity because it is D1. Now, I've just mentioned he's obviously bottom of the game rules overall, but he's also top. So in first place is Liverpool, managed by Fizz. He's sandwiching everyone in the group. Yep, so he's in first. He's on 27 points. They have a 4-point gap to Barcelona, managed by Babajide. And Ren are in third, also on 23 points. Just behind Barca on goal difference. And then fourth, one of the surprise packages of the year is Real Sociedad, who are also on 23 points. And then currently in the final Champions Cup spot with an asterisk, and I'll mention that in a bit, is Jabril's Wolves on 22 points. And then in the Challenge Cup spots, so EMG Division 1 gets 4 automatic qualifiers in the Champions Cup, plus a 5th if Everton come in the top 2, because Everton won the Challenge Cup. And that's if Everton come top 2 in Division 2. If Bojan doesn't come top 2, then 5th place goes to the Challenge Cup. So currently the 6 qualifiers for the Challenge Cup are Benfica in 6th on 21, Atletico in 7th on 21, so that's Saskid and Jonesy, and then 8th place Napoli managed by Bami on 20, Real Betis in 9th, having a bit of a disappointing season compared to last year, where they overachieved a little bit, in 9th managed by the Triple J, the Kenyan fraud. And then in 10th place, we've got Arsenal on 18 points, and then there's a gap back then. Lazio currently qualify for the Challenge Cup because of Everton in the top 2, and they're on 13 points. Bit of a gap to Arsenal, but there's a small gap then developing between Lazio and the bottom 3. Now the bottom 3, we have Borussia Dortmund, managed by Arjun, on 12 points, in 12th on 9 points, struggling this season. And then Man City, who overperformed massively last year and have had new manager bounces consistently for the last 2 years. That seems to have come to an end as they're now in 13th on 9 points. And then at the bottom, with 1 win, 2 draws, 10 defeats. And they've only just recently got their first points after a disappointing start, is Ajax. Obviously, they started the season as managed by Tom Joseph. However, Tom moved up to Rennes once Altamaz got kicked out of the game mode for not meeting criteria. And I'll just put it as that. And then obviously Pedro from Division 4, Pedro Villar, moved up to Mainworld, stepped up all the way from Division 4 to Division 1 to take the Ajax job. And it's been tough for Ajax, obviously, with currently only 5 points so far this season. They are set to fail to get 13 points, which would make them join the group of EMG clubs that fail to get 0.5 a point a game. So, they're currently set to get 10 points a season. So, yeah, it's been tough for Ajax. They have picked up form though recently. They got 5 points in the last 4 games. So there is a chance they could stay up, but it's going to be tough. And then as for the votes from the managers for who will win Division 1, when I get to it. So some technical issues with WhatsApp on the phone. Right, let's check on here. Okay, so when I scroll up on here, I've had to switch to my phone to get the stats. Right, so 13 people have just voted for Fizz. So in Division 1, and then tied second is Babajido's Barcelona and JJ's Betis. Now I think that JJ wins a bit because it's JJ. And then there's joint third, Ren and Atletico. And Sociedad, Wolves, Benfica and Napoli have got 0 votes to win the league. I think Liverpool will win the league. I think 4 points, even with Fizz being Fizz, he should get the job done. If he doesn't, then he won't hear the end of it from a certain individual called JJ. So yeah, Fizz is my take to win the title. As for relegation, I think it'll be the current bottom 3. I think Ajax will go. I think Man City will finish 14th. I think they'll fall behind Ajax. I think Ajax have started to pick up points. The gap is too big for them to catch up now, barring a miracle. I think Man City are struggling, and I think Dortmund will go down as 12th. On to Division 2 we go. We have so in first place in Division 2 is Bojan's Everton, which is good news for 5th place in Division 1 and 11th place in Division 1 because they're qualifying for the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup. They're on 28 points. In second behind them, a point behind, is PSG, who've just come down from Division 1. And then the playoffs currently are Inter managed, so Everton managed by Bojan and PSG managed by Dale. And then the playoffs currently are Inter managed by Dan on 21, Villa managed by Davian on 21, Milan managed by Cal on 21, and then Juventus managed by Amazing on 18. And then going down further, Bilbao managed by Glinks are 7th on 18. Erosenines Lyon are 8th on 16 points. Tottenham are 9th on 15 points. Flamengo having a disappointing season in 10th on 15 points. Chelsea down in 11th on 13 points. Atalanta on 12 points in 12th. Real Madrid, another team having a very disappointing season, had some issues tactically and with injuries, in 13th on 11 points. And then Bayern are in 14th on 11 points. Flamengo and Real Madrid have really been poor this season. Built-up and Greg need to up their game. Especially coming down from Division 1. Both could go down to Division 2. Everton and PSG, I think Everton both looking good. Both got a comfortable gap to potentially go back up. As for who everyone's voted for, 19 people have voted. 16 voted for Bojan and Everton to go up, and then 3 have voted for Juventus and Moses Alabi or Amazing. I think Everton will go up, and I think PSG will come second. And I'm going to say Villa for the playoffs. I think Villa will be the 3rd team to go up. And to go down, I think Bayern will go down again. Atalanta will go down, and I'm going to go for Chelsea. I think Flamengo and Real Madrid should hopefully pick up form. If they don't, then there'll be some questions raised, especially for Real Madrid. But yes, I think Bayern, Atalanta, and unfortunately Chelsea. So sorry, Baraf, Alan, and Vinny. On to the next. It's Division 3. Now, Division 3 is led by Reasonino Leipzig, who are on 27 points. Now, they were unbeaten up until the last 2 games, but they've dropped 2 games and lost twice, which has closed the gap because they had a very big gap already, and it looked like they were going to be dominant. But that gap has closed down to 4 points. So Joe's Crystal Palace are in second on 23. And then the playoffs are Ashmal's Sevilla, Nazfan's Mönchengladbach, Marco's Leicester, and Harry Banty's Porto on 18 points. And then just outside the playoffs, they've got IMJ's Roma on 18, David's Lille on 18, Neri's Leverkusen on 17, Spice's Valencia on 16, Gifts Villarreal on 16, Marseille managed by Greg Robinson on 16, and then there's a gap then. Rashini's United on 11, and then swoop at the bottom with 0 wins this season and 5 draws, Monaco managed by Poundy. Now, I've asked obviously the group who they think will win Division 3, and 23 people have voted, and everyone thinks Leipzig will win the league. I have voted for Leipzig as well, but I think Palace or even Sevilla could actually close in, and I think Leipzig are getting hit quite badly with red arrows, and I think Sevilla especially could swoop in and take potentially close that gap and potentially win the league. But I'm going to say Leipzig for now, and I think playoff winner, I think Leipzig will come first, Sevilla will come second, and I'm going to go... Now, I know he's not in the playoffs at the moment, but I'm going to go for Neri. I don't know why, but I think Neri's Leverkusen will win the playoffs. I'll probably be wrong, but I'm going to go for Neri. I think he'll come 5th, sneak in. His form's been patchy recently, but I think he'll sneak in and come in the playoffs. I also want to mention, as the next part regarding the cups, the EMG Main Cup finished yesterday, actually. I'd like to congratulate Dale's PSG for winning the EMG Cup. They beat Juventus on penalties. Both PSG and Juventus qualified for the Cup Winner Cup. However, I think PSG are likely to come top 2, so that spot will go to 7th in Division 2 if PSG come in the top 2. Congratulations, obviously, to both. Commiserations for losing the final, Moses, and congrats Dale for winning with PSG. Obviously, there's still 13 more games to go. What I think will happen is no idea. I think this season's been interesting because some of the title winners have been quite dominant. But, however, we've seen in previous that teams have had a gap and they've managed to not win the title, only just win it. So I wouldn't necessarily say Fizz, Bojan and Reasonino are going to win the title. They could easily Neri it, or something could happen which causes them to not win it. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I think there's going to be some interesting teams. I think there's some teams here who need to really up their game. There's teams who are currently... Real Madrid and Flamengo in Division 2. Atletico have dropped off recently. Hit, a really bad run of form. Only 1 win in their last 6. Flamengo and Real Madrid in relegation zone. Flamengo are just outside the relegation zone. Both those teams should be at least in the playoffs, contend for the title. And in Division 3, Manchester United, I'm not going to say, but, I think probably should be doing better, but manager holding them back. There's also some surprise packages. Leicester have overperformed. Leicester are currently unbeaten in the last 6. Could they qualify for the Connect Cup? Who knows? They're one of 2 teams, them and Marseille, to never qualify for Mainworld. Who knows? I mean, can Monaco win a game? Can Ajax stay up? Who knows? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks. I think what we'll do is we'll do another recap in the next, I think, with 6 games to go or something like that, just a refresher. And also what we'll do is give an update regarding MENA, Africa, Americas game mode as well. Okay, thank you for listening.